basing it off the projections initially, and they're like, oh, this is going to kill 5 million people. It's like, okay, well, let's take it seriously, and then you fast forward 2 months, and the numbers just don't add up to the projections at all.
The Wi-Fi network they gave me, it is saying it's
Tim.
not running.
Tim, can you help her?
Well, you're right underneath the router, so.
Yeah.
So you can't reach.
Well, because I'm trying to get onto the Wi-Fi that he gave me, and for some reason it's saying it's not in range, which I think is really.
By the way, I didn't call Bill before coming to this meeting just to make sure that he was good on all that. They were good to go. Yeah, because essentially they said the fuel farm was the only thing. And so once they got that removed, he was happy. Yeah, because I've been waiting as soon as I saw that. I'm like, oh, my phone's moving. I've been waiting to see that pop up out here. How's your family doing?
Good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you're a commissioner in a different community, aren't you? Or you're legal counsel?
I'm actually not even legal counsel.
You got out?
I'm the I'm the city attorney for Cibola and Satana, but I'm the county attorney's and prosecutor, not the county counselor.
Gotcha.
That's actually Jason Maxwell.
Oh, so you guys get to work
It's
together?
kind of a strange dynamic.
So what's this?
It's my daughter's fault.
Hey, man.
Your daughter's fault? Yeah, I say,
Yeah, I hate it.
can you grow it to that extent? I can't.
You don't, dude, this is only 4 days since I shaved.
I don't even to tell you how.
No, I love the beard, but trimmed it down to a 1, and then shaved everything else, but all of this is just.
I don't want to tell you how many days it's been.
That is a toxic masculinity right there.
I don't have it.
I had to trim mine today. You could almost see what I trimmed off in.
I have gray and white hairs that you can see here, but if I don't have this, you definitely.
I'm actually looking forward to getting some salt and pepper. I think it'll add to the look. Fantastic.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, guys, make sure crunch all the paper right there. So.
I think Ellie's still trying to get hers.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Wi-Fi
So
stuff
if you
to.
maybe want to announce it,
Yeah.
that will start as soon as the paper can get theirs.
We are just waiting on the media to be able to get everything connected for their live stream, and we will be starting the meeting shortly.
Oh, what is it? Name some of these.
Mute that.
Maybe Buck won't get some Wi-Fi.
Yep, that mic was live.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep, the wife was like, yeah, I heard the salt and pepper. Yep, that's right.
They don't watch these meetings.
It always surprises me who ends up watching these meetings.
Okay, what just
Okay, I can talk to you about it after the meeting. Okay.
That's what the focus has been on. And I'm not saying it's right,
Let me see what my correspondence with the county with those dates, tentative work that you're talking about.
but I don't know who sends it to the Attorney General or station.
I actually don't know if that's actually required, that part about the Attorney General. So I haven't seen that anywhere in the statute. But
And I think they were going off of what we had to do 10 years ago.
let's see.
I feel like we're in detention. Get the dust cap put on.
okay. Thank you.
I got a few things I think.
Yeah.
Roll the windows down on myself.
Whoa. That one. Okay. Now, hopefully I can. Okay, now. Okay. Okay. Come on. Okay, come on. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Could we have the roll call?
Mayor Seacrest.
Present.
Vice Mayor Harden.
Present.
Commissioner Lindenberger.
Present.
Commissioner Martinez.
Here.
Commissioner Warren.
Here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Would you join me in the pledge of allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Goodbye, Ellie. Would you read our invocation?
Yes, I will. Dear Heavenly Father, we are blessed that we have this opportunity to serve our community. We ask that you will guide us as we make decisions that affect this community. As we face challenges that we have never faced before, guide us through those decisions. And we ask that you will be with us as we go to our homes this evening, be with our staff, be with our community, our state, and our nation as we face our challenges. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ron.
Commissioner.
We have no awards or proclamations or presentations, but on the approval of the agenda, we have an amended agenda. The first change is the location, City Commission to City Hall. The next change is on number 12. It says change order replaces the word bid. And we're adding number 15, approval of CARES Act grant offer for number 15.
I'll make a motion that we approve the amended agenda. Oh, wait a
Okay,
minute.
just a minute. Then we need to amend the amended agenda. Which,
Oh.
I'm sorry, that's a little confusing, but, it has to do with the approval of the water tower lease. We need to add number 1 under the approval of water tower lease consent agreement between City of Liberal and Liberal Country Club. And then number 2 will be the lease agreement itself. So we need to amend the amended agenda.
Where is that on
That would be on item 6.
It's
Oh,
six,
item
it's
6.
part of the consent agenda,
Number
the
one.
very
Oh,
top,
okay.
item A,
there?
the
Okay.
water tower lease. Everybody follow all that, okay.
So the motion should be to
Amend
amend the amended
Yes,
agenda?
yes, please.
Yes, second.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hart to approve the amended agenda. Amend the amended agenda. Any discussion, all in favor? Motion carries 5-0. The next item is the minutes. We need to approve the corrected March 24, 20 regular meeting, April 2nd, 2020 special meeting, and April 14th, 2020 regular meeting. Separate motions.
I'll make a motion we approve the March 24th, 2020 regular meeting, April 2nd, 2020 special meeting, and April 14th, 2020 regular meeting.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Martinez to approve the March 24, 20 regular meeting, second by Commissioner Hart, April 2nd, 2020 special meeting, and April 14th, 2020 regular meeting. Any discussion regarding those meetings? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Did we have any items from citizens sent to
No,
us?
we did not.
Okay. Or items from groups?
No, we did not.
Okay, thank you. Then on the consent agenda, I want to pull out the water tower lease, the A part of the consent agenda. And we need to, we need a consent agreement between the City of Liberal and the Liberal Country Club for this lease. So I need a motion to sign a consent agreement between the Liberal and the Liberal Country
We need to
Club.
make a motion to remove that item
We need to have the consent,
or change,
we need to get a consent agreement.
or to split the agenda, or the consent agenda.
Yeah, we need to,
Yeah, I didn't, do we need a motion to remove from the consent agenda?
If one commissioner requests it to be removed, it's just removed.
Okay, perfect.
Mayor Seegers is requesting that, so that will be considered under the consent agenda.
Okay, so should we go ahead and approve the consent agenda and then immediately take a look at the agreement between the City of Liberal?
That would be fine if you want, if someone wants to move to approve the consent agenda under subsection B at this time.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda under subsection B.
Second then.
motion by Commissioner Harden, second by Commissioner Martinez, okay, to consider the B part of the consent agenda. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Now we need to go back to the approval of the water tower lease. And, Chris has some information about that for us.
Thank you, Commissioners. I apologize for the last minute change on this. It's the water tower lease with Southwest Kansas Online is actually, it's time to consider that for renewal. And just a little quick background on the need for the consent agreement with Liberal Country Club. The property on which the water tower is located is owned by the Liberal Country Club. And the city does have essentially it's a utility easement for a water tower and water lines. And when we got into the practice of leasing tower space, because it's on the Country Club's property, you know, we had to, of course, get their approval. And so, in essence, the timing of the consent agreement runs concurrently with the lease that we have with Southwest Kansas Online. And similar, we have similar agreements with Conestoga, who also leases the water tower. So, and essentially, in a nutshell, they would give us permission to lease our water tower to utilize the easement for that purpose. And in turn, we actually have a revenue share agreement with them for 1/3 of our rental proceeds. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. And just to clarify that, and part of the materials you received today, it's the one that says agreement between City of Liberal, Kansas, and the Liberal Country Club is the consent agreement. And then,
This basically stayed the same.
Yes, it's been similar, ever since we started, I think the original lease was back in 2010, when we originally started this, and it's just renewed every, like I said, it coincides with the lease agreement terms that we have, so.
Just like I've done it before.
Yes, nothing has changed. And in effect, if it's approved by the commission tonight, we'll have to submit it to Local Country Club for their consideration as well. And would you like me to discuss the next one, or I can wait on that? Okay, so, and then on the next item, just to clarify, there's a packet that has like a diagram on the front of it. This is actually Exhibit A, which goes with the Southwest Kansas online lease that refers to, and essentially it describes where the water tower and the easements are located, and it's just for information, but it does refer to Exhibit A in the lease, so.
That's number 1 on the agreement submission in that first paragraph.
So.
Any questions for Chris? Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Okay, we need a motion to approve obtaining the consent agreement between the City of Liberal and the Liberal Country Club for the water tower.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agreement between the City of Liberal and the Liberal Country Club for the water tower.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harden, second by Commissioner Warren to approve the consent agreement between the City of Liberal and the Liberal Country Club for the water tower. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Then the next item is the lease itself. We need to have a motion to approve that lease. Do we make it subject to the consent agreement?
Subject to Liberal Country Code approving consent agreement.
I'll make a motion that we approve the lease agreement subject to the Liberal Country Club approving the lease agreement.
I'll second.
I think it would be stated the consent agreement. Subject to Liberal Country Club approving the consent agreement.
Okay. Subject to the Liberal Country Club
Approving
the consent
agreement.
agreement. Okay, approving the consent agreement.
Do we need to state what lease?
It's a 5-year.
Would be for the purpose of the Southwest Kansas Online water tower lease.
For the purpose of the Southwest Kansas Online Water Tower lease.
For a period of
5 years.
5 years.
For a period of 5 years.
Okay, all in favor of, is there a second to Taylor's motion?
Yeah. Commissioner Martinez, I'll still
Okay,
second.
thank you. Motion by Commissioner Harden, second by Commissioner Martinez regarding the Southwest Kansas online lease. Any discussion?
Can you say all that again?
No, I can't. Can I repeat that?
No.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. 5-0. Thank you. Okay. The next item is number 7. Resolution 2348 that we did.
Okay, what staff is requesting is in light of the governor's new phases, it would request that the commission rescind this and that we go along with the phases of the governor comes out and the dates. Because right now it's still 10, but if it goes to 18, it goes to 30, that changes the outlook. But what we're still proposing is that like with City Hall at 30, we would just have the one door in and it would be the barricades like we had changed so we can make sure that we stay under the 30 people in social distancing within City Hall and possibly even the courts. The other thing is, even on the 18th, we're looking, our thoughts are that we do not open up our rentals, whether it be picnic shelter buildings, or anything until the total phase out. We had the signs made up, hey, they'll be open, you use it at your own risk. And according, we have all kinds of information and nobody can agree. But basically the league says, let's say we open up the pool on the 18th. We are responsible for making sure that everybody social distances, that we don't have groups of more than 30. Well, lifeguards have to watch the water. Even at, say, a family reunion, we typically in the park don't send staff up there to make sure that they have maintained social distancing, and so we're recommending that that we don't really go wide open until the phase out. But we
Which phase out are you talking about? The last
on the
year?
governor's program.
Three,
Yeah,
two,
we will go, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Like say, phase 2 would allow the coaches to go out there and play with their kids in ball fields, have practices, but it's on them because we're gonna have signs up, hey, it's closed for any city function. We're not sanctioning it. Bathrooms will be closed for parks, everything. Because based on what I think Alicia gleaned out, is legal says that we are responsible if we open it up and we're sanctioning, family reunions or water parks, we're responsible for ensuring the social distancing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Be held liable.
so for the liability portion, I'm thinking we don't want to just be locked down, but hey, we're out of it until we're completely phased out. Then we'll host baseball tournaments. That's the next item is the water park, but so we won't talk about that. But
And they also have the reopening guidelines that were provided.
yeah, that was from,
Those just came out today.
yeah, and those are just guidelines. The sad part is we got guidelines from the CDC, Parks and Rec. Nobody can agree on exactly what it says. Everybody has a different set of rules. That's why I'm saying we adopt what the governor puts out in her program, and we don't want to go wide open until complete phase out.
So if we make a motion to rescind resolution 2328, then we'll also need to take some kind of action.
to adopt the governor's program.
Yeah.
You don't, actually don't have to.
We don't have to, it'll already be
Because we're
covered,
subject
right?
to it.
Yeah.
Subject to
We're
it.
subject to the governor's order
Yeah,
regardless.
it's
Do
imposed.
we need to do anything to, you actually have the right to say that the rental bills are closed anyway, right?
Correct.
As long as we know what you're doing and you're.
Yeah, and that's all this was.
We don't really have to do any action.
Yeah, we're advising you that we're trying to do the best we can to protect the city from any liability. But yet, we don't want to be total lockdown.
So when are you gonna open City Hall?
My thought is the 18th,
Okay.
depending on what the governor
Okay,
announces.
so you will follow that.
Or the
Yeah, but it won't be wide open. It'll be one way in, and this side will be blocked off and building. You'll have to make an appointment to get to this side or appointment, but you'll be able to walk in, pay your water bills or buy trash bags.
Quite frankly, I have had no complaints about this building being closed. People are more concerned about the employees' safety in here. They ask about the girls at the water department.
Well, actually, I don't know if you've had a chance to see or not, but at the water counter, we have had a safety glass shield installed there that will be permanent. So even during flu season, cold season, those girls have a divider there. You might want to take, I don't know, have all of you seen it, or?
I was noticing it from this angle.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a comment on Commissioner Warren's statement earlier. You're right, it's up to the department head, to Cal, as city manager, with his departments regarding it, but I think his position is, hey, he wants to make sure that the commissioners are in approval, because if he makes a decision, he wants to have you guys.
we can give him a consensus instead of a motion then though, right?
Right, you can openly discuss what are you gonna do about,
these
the different
facilities.
areas and how he treats each facility, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's going to be the most difficult dynamic to maintain is that, for example, if you look at phase 2 even, just on ratios and groups, says small playgrounds only with enforceable social distancing and informative signage may be allowed. Well, we can take care of the signage, but we're not going to enforce social distancing. We don't have
We don't-
manpower to do it.
We don't maintain
So-
that type of staff.
So with stuff like that, since it'll come down to being your call and we're waiting on, to see if Governor moves us into phase 2, are we planning on, even with the dissolution of resolution number 2328, continuing to keep playgrounds closed until we hear more from the state?
Well, I would say, yeah, until we hear more from the state. And I'm not sure that and again, my thought is, hey, it's getting nice up until the last couple of days, it was nice weather.
Mhm.
But we want to open the playgrounds up, we really do. But I'm thinking that, again, before we go wide open, we need to be in phase out.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, because I'm with Mayor Segrist. The main thing that we need to be concerned about is liability on the city of Liberal, taxpayers of Liberal, in the event that people don't listen to the sign. Because
And
that
the other
happens a lot.
thing is with playgrounds and all youth facilities, my major concern is we have, okay, we all remember what it's like to be kids, except for probably Ronnie, he was never a kid, but, we like to go out and have fun, and we're invincible when we were kids. I think we need to do the best we can to protect the youth of this community so that we don't have another outbreak like in late August or so when schools get ready to start, and then we created another fiasco. I think our best bet is to do everything we can to protect the youth of this community so that they don't get any farther behind in their education.
Okay, what's your wish about, resolution 2328?
We're requesting that you just rescind it.
I'll make a motion that we rescind resolution number 2328.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Lindenberger, that we rescind resolution 2328. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Okay. We will follow the governor's phase guide.
Yeah, and they're subject to change from week to week, and we know
This
that.
Friday.
I'd also add that obviously as a resident, if you're living here in the county, you're also subject to the county restrictions that they have, something that's more stringent than what the governor has. So just make sure, all the public that's listening, make sure you check with your county officials too, so you know what those are in place, and you can find those as well as the state.
The governor has made it clear that counties can make things more stringent, but you cannot make things less than what she says. So we'll be in compliance. Thank you. Adventure Bay Family Water Park, number 8.
Okay, the $1 million question. Do we open it this summer, or we do? And again, that's one of those things, hey, if we don't open it, hey, we save an expenditure. But do the people in this community deserve to have it open? Because it's funded with that. But I would recommend that we don't open it until it's total phased out. Whether that's, obviously we couldn't open it May 18th if we wanted. But the other thing is, if you look at the guidelines that Flynn has there, you're supposed to wear a face mask except when you're in the water. Okay, Ronnie, you can hold my face mask while I go down the slide, and then when I get out, I put it,
Well, you're supposed to clean the slide after every use. Do you know how many slides we have in our water park?
well, and here's the thing, water's completely going down it at all times, so, I don't see any way to open it before the total phase out. And the other thing is with Adventure Bay is I have a meeting in the morning. As of right now, we do not have the funding for our summer youth program anyway. So that's another reason that I kind of need to know, hey, are people open it after June 15th or after it's wide open?
I think the difficult thing is that, if we're being realistic, we're either talking about opening it or just not opening it at all this year, because by the time that they get this all the way phased out, it'll only be open for 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, June 15th, we would be open all of June, or half of June, July,
That's
and
if it
August,
stays
we run
on
through till
task.
Labor Day.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
If it's actually stays on task.
And I think we have to I think we have to put a drop dead date. Hey, if we can't open it by the 1st of July, I say we're done for the summer.
Because to me, the challenge is whether you staff it. I think the public definitely deserves for us to make an attempt to open it. And I do believe it's not realistic to open it before June 15th or before everything is dropped and everything is open. So, there's no way you can do it before then. So whatever that date, if we're following those guidelines now anyway, that would be the date. But I agree, we could set a date that if we can't open it by July 1st, then there's not a sense in opening it. But if we can open it by July 1st, even if they get 6 weeks, I think as much as people have had to adjust their lifestyle already, I think we owe it to them to attempt to try to open it. That's just my opinion, to try to open it. So I would
agree with that. And I think if we get to the point where it's total phase out, you know, people should, and I'm gonna guess our attendance is gonna be way down, because there's gonna be people that don't want their children coming. And so our expenses are gonna be the same, but revenues are gonna be down. So the separation between revenue and expenses are gonna be more than normal. But how much, I don't have a crystal ball. I mean.
You mean you're saying we'll lose as much in 2 months as we usually lose in 3.5?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that.
One thing the league mentioned today was getting lifeguard training and getting them certified, that it may be an issue to ensure that they have a safe teaching environment for the lifeguards, because they have to have close contact, and if we require, or the state requires, the social distancing, so that may be an issue. They're going to continue talking about it, because lifeguards will have to be certified. So,
can you tell me the amount puts people at risk?
They'll have to do that in their training.
But see, and here's the other thing, where if you read some of these others, it says you got to maintain social distancing, but if you read the governors in phase out, it says maintain social distancing where applicable. Well, obviously, if I'm trying to train a lifeguard to save somebody's life, to me that's not applicable that I can social distance. So I mean,
It'd be like a paramedic or something.
yeah, I mean, so I'm saying in phase out, I mean, it's like, okay, hey, I'm Cal's playing baseball, he gets to first base. Okay, I'm not gonna be within 6 feet for 10 minutes. Because first of all, I'm gonna take a lead off. So I mean, and that's the other thing on social distancing, is don't be within 6 feet for more than 10 minutes. So, you know, you can play words with this all day long.
First of all, there has to be an error if you had first base, or you would have got walked, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we can, are we agreeing then that July 1st needs to be the cutoff date?
Yes.
Oh, we need to have a cutoff date.
I think that should be the date.
That's what.
And this is just a consensus item, right?
Yeah. I mean, I will keep you updated, it's not like, because we are probably gonna start shooting, you know, after the 18th. We're probably gonna start, we're gonna be getting the pool ready. Probably even fill the lap pool by about the end of May. And we may have to fill it sooner because I may need that pool to train my lifeguards. But it won't be, we won't be needing to run slides. All I need is the lap pool filled and the pumps run, keep the water circulated and filtered and chlorinated.
Yeah, you got my approval for that.
Yeah.
Let's set July 1st, 2019 is the,
I'm good with it.
Well, I mean, it's not, we got 3 months before that day, so we can have.
So you put it on the agenda.
Yeah, and the media may turn out, well, the governor putting a whammy on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's move on then to item number 9, which is resolution number 2331, authorizing submittal of a 2021 solid waste grant.
And Karen and I again, I dropped the ball because Karen and I didn't have a conversation on this, but it's pretty well self-explanatory. Basically, we get 7,500, and we have to put 2,500 up in matching. It comes from the solid waste utility fund, and she's just requesting permission to apply for it.
So it's a no-brainer, you mean, so.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2331, authorizing submittal of a 2021 solid waste grant.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Harden, to approve resolution number 2331, authorizing submittal of a 2021 solid waste grant. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. The next item is number 10, donation of a can rack to the Senior Citizen Center.
What we have is, we all know Rufino's closed down. The city owns some of the equipment, Rufino's owns some of the equipment. Well, left in there that belongs to the city is an aluminum can rack for gallon-sized cans that is just gonna sit there. And the senior center has asked about purchasing it. My thought is, based on our surplus equipment, we just donate it because they're another nonprofit, good cause. There's no need of us putting it out for bids.
Absolutely.
So you just need a consensus for that, probably not a motion, or do you need a motion since it's
I'm
property?
thinking probably consensus is good, but
Do a motion.
Do a motion?
I will abstain because I'm on that board, so it's not looking against it.
she's the one that twisted my arm and bring it up.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and donate the can rack to the senior center.
Second that.
Motion by Commissioner Harden, second by Commissioner Martinez to donate the can rack to the Senior Citizen Center. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-1 abstention. The next is number 11, Sky West Rent Deferral Agreement.
I'll sure be glad when we open these meetings back up and I don't have to present everything. Anyway, due to the COVID-19 and everything, originally they felt us out, but we just forgive the rent. And I says, no, it's FAA property, we can't just up and do that. And so they came back with a request for deferral. Lynn has looked at it and he's okay with it. Basically, they would pay the rent by December for, it'd be deferred from April 1st to June 30th. And then they would pay that, where did I see when?
By December 15th.
By December 15th.
Before the year end.
Yeah.
I have a motion to approve the Sky West Rental Deferment Agreement.
I'll make a motion, we approve the Sky West rent deferral agreement.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Harden to approve the Sky West Rent Deferral Agreement. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. The next is item number 12, Seward Street change order.
Okay, this one, finally, we're getting to the end of the School Street projects. These are the last two blocks. And of course, as everybody remembers, the original bids were from 4 years ago. Costs went up, but due to Seward Street and the problem we discovered on Walnut, there's not a base there, and they had to excavate about 3 foot of dirt. We had a real problem with gas lines being hit, water lines. And so, as you know, we did part of Hickory and Concrete. J&R is proposing that we do these 2 blocks in concrete for Seward because, look, it won't hold, the street will not hold the asphalt equipment, and then got a disaster again. And concrete, we all know, will last a lot longer and a lot less maintenance. The change order price is $494, $608.50. We're requesting approval of that. That's roughly about 40,000 more than the asphalt bid from 4 years ago. So it's within the 10%. And so we're just requesting permission to go ahead and approve this change order. And then we will be done, as far as I know, with all the school street projects.
To my knowledge.
Okay, to our knowledge, there we
So
go.
let me ask that, so then does this money come out of the half-cent sales tax?
Correct.
Okay, that's, okay.
The school.
Yes.
Just,
School.
yeah, School's portion of that.
And
Yeah, I mean, the special half-cent, not as a 1 cent or anything.
yeah, no, this is the special half cent.
Yeah.
Or, just to clarify, they could actually write a check for it. You know, USD 480 funds, not the city funds. I think that would be more,
Correct. And,
if not the half cent, then they could.
and just out of curiosity, the school knows that this is happening? I mean, it's been,
They do not know we switched to concrete. They knew we were doing the Seward Street. And they knew the price was gonna change because the original bid was 4 years ago. And the bid was not with 480, that bid was with the city. 480 has no standing in the bid with JR and the city.
right. And 'cause I know that, I'd heard that somewhere that they was concerned that we don't tell them what we're doing with that portion of the deal, which I don't think we're required to, but out of courtesy, we probably should, but that this is the last time we're doing it anyway.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion. We still go round and round about something that happened when the beginning of the project.
Still the same bidder, but it just,
Yes.
different materials all.
Yeah, actually, I mean, J&R will sub it out to JAG, but
Make a motion that we approve the Seward Street change order in the amount of $494,608.50. Commissioner Lindenberg.
Motion by Commissioner Hart, second by Commissioner Lindenberg to approve the Seward Street change order in the amount of $494,608.50. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item number 13, Can Creek Hydro Mulching.
okay. In essence, this is the grass seed and all the stuff that will be needed to seed the banks in Can Creek where we've done the excavation and cleaned it out. The intent is to have good vegetation so that when we get a good rain, it don't wash the dirt back out. We're not redoing everything. The intent is to have all of Can Creek that's exposed, look like that ditch off of 8th Street there by Marcellus, you know, with nice slopes and grass where you can mow it and keep float. I mean, obviously over time we're gonna get some silt, but hopefully it'll be a lot longer with it made into a waterway instead of just a dirt ditch.
More erosion control.
And where will the funds for this be coming out of?
It'll be coming out of streets and drainage.
And I was seeing on there, I guess there's a, this will be sprayed on,
Yes,
sprayed down.
with that
basically,
hydro mulch machine that we
And I
purchased.
saw, okay, so it's our, yeah, okay, yeah.
We use our machine.
And you're using this, I saw it says, slicky, sticky, that's to make it where it doesn't wash away with the rain? Or does it work?
Hey,
Okay.
Brad's not here. That's why I'm glad we can get more good people in here, guys. That's why I want
He's
that
probably glad
resolution
he's not here
going.
to answer that question. so.
Yeah. I can have plead the fifth, but I just don't
Sounds
know.
like it worked, right?
Yeah.
And our motion to approve a Drexel Seed and Supply bid.
I'll make a motion to approve the Drexel Seed and Supply bid in the amount of $13,650 to come out of streets and drainage.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harden, second by Commissioner Warren, to approve the Drexel Seed and Supply, bid in the amount of $13,650 to come out of the streets and drainage. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Next item is Liberal Housing Authority Board appointment. They would like for us to appoint Bambi Fulton.
Make a motion that we appoint Bambi Fulton to the Liberal Housing Authority Board of Directors.
Second that.
Moved by Commissioner Hart, second by Commissioner Martinez to appoint Bambi Fulton to the Liberal Housing Authority Board of Directors. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Then number 15 is the add-on of the CARES Act grant offer.
Okay, and basically this is gonna end up being a two-part one. Under the CARES Act, under COVID, the FAA, we have been granted up to a $69,000 grant. And I will give this to Chris, and so basically that's gonna save our general fund about $69,000 for expenses that would normally be used for revenue for the airport. So we need, I need approval to accept the grant. And then under A, you need to provide authority for Cal, who was the signing sponsor on this, to execute the grant. If I understand this correctly.
I think they can just make a motion to approve the grant.
And allow you to execute it.
Do we need to put that number in there? Probably do.
Oh, it's a fun number. I like that number.
Sounds like one Taylor.
Yes. I'll make a motion that we accept the CARES Act grant offer, which is grant number 320-0050-026-2020. And also authorize City Manager Calvin Burke to be the sponsor's authorized representative.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hart, second by Commissioner Warren, to accept the CARES Act grant offer, grant number 3-20-0050-026-2020, and authorize Calvin Burke to be the sponsor's authorized representative. Any discussion? All in favor?
Who found that grant? Karen or Brian? Do you think?
I don't even start lying now. I think it was a combination of Brian and Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, does the city staff have anything they want to say? City manager?
I've been talking all night, no. No, I gotta give credit to the staff. I mean, this has been a rough couple of months, 2 or 3 months. Everybody's hung in there, fought through. We've had a few employees who were positive. We've handled the quarantines, and everybody's made do, and they've done a great job keeping their chin up and hanging in there, because it was hard for a lot of people who were concerned about coming to work. You know, they're going back home to their families. We've done a very good job at City Hall at protecting our employees. Had no positives in City Hall, and wish we could protect every employee, but when you're out in the public, it's kind of hard to do it sometimes. So I just want to thank them for hanging in there, doing a great job. And Jewish crew got kudos from Pseudo Este on the work they did up there on the curb and gutters, and they were really, really thankful. In fact, they even gave me $50 pizza certificate to go buy pizza for all the guys that were doing it. So they were really wanting to thank everybody for them doing a great job.
Who's doing the program over on South Grand? Is that part of regular maintenance, concrete on sidewalks over there?
That would be our crew on South Grand, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if the homeowners requested it, or is it something that we're doing?
I would have to go back and look at that progress report that I send you every Monday from Gary Geist.
Yeah.
It should have that in there.
It's looking good.
Yeah, but I mean, that progress report, that progress meeting that we have with Gary every Monday with Public Works guys, it's got a lot of information, and Gary has an agenda for us every Monday, and we discuss everything that's going on, and then usually by the end of the day, he has the minutes for me, and then I forward that to all of you. And it tells you exactly what's going on as far as street work, concrete work, drainage. Sometimes we say no progress, but
That's working out real well, though, that you're having him do that for them, and you guys are having those meetings. That's something you didn't used to have, right?
no, and I mean, they're very productive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like every department, hey, and they work together. If Jose needs something, or they work together really well, and I'm proud of them. They come together, and it's like one unit. I think I'm done.
Okay. Do you have anything?
No, Mayor.
I just want to thank Holly Horner for including in our packet the Liberal is Awesome campaign financial report. I'm glad that she did that. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that works for the city. You have done a magnificent job. And hopefully we can get through this and everybody stay healthy and safe, be happy.
Okay. I know everybody's concerned about how the COVID-19 is affecting the city financially and everything. It's really too early for us to make a prediction of where we're gonna fall. We should know early to mid third quarter if it's starting to look bad, but department heads are cutting down on expenditures. If we don't have to have it, we're not gonna do it. So until we really see, we don't know exactly if we're gonna get any federal relief or anything, so we're not gonna panic, start laying people off or ask commissioners to forego their salaries for the rest of the year like another city did. I mean, let's be honest. What is yours gonna do on a $40 million budget? I mean, but that's so, we kind of looked at some numbers, and Chris is gonna stay on top of the numbers. And if it looks like we need to panic and lay people off, you guys will let you know, and we will have a meeting to discuss how to approach it. But right now, unless one of you guys have a crystal ball, I'm saying we're mid to late third quarter before we even need to start worrying.
Well, that would get closer, and yeah, the city manager and I have had some discussions, and one thing to keep in mind on our budget, there are certain amounts in our budget that are passed through, meaning that like on let's say like the economic incentives or the school sales tax or whatnot, if we don't collect the money, then we're not gonna expend it. So, and the other thing too that could affect is, we're not sure, like certain activities, even discussing the pool tonight, that is a quality of life activity for us, meaning that we don't collect enough revenues to actually pay for the expenses, but it is for the community, so there's certain things, if we don't do the activities or if we delay, it may actually reduce expenses too. So, but like the city manager said, we're definitely keeping an eye on things and trying to forecast. I know I've had discussions with our auditor and, just been trying to keep up with some of the organizations, Government Finance Officers Association and the league and whatnot. Everybody has projections, and depending on who you listen to, the numbers are a little bit different. So, but just letting everybody know, that is something that we are considering. And as we look ahead, here, coming up in the next couple of months, we're going to be looking at the 2021 budget. That could actually, what we do this year may impact next year's budget too, by way of cash carryovers and whatnot too. So, we're certainly trying to be as proactive as we can, and if there's something that needs to be communicated, or if we need to do something, then, definitely I'll visiting with Cal, we might be able to call a special meeting, or if we have to, or, we could even address it in a regular commission meeting if time allows. But I'm certainly not aware of any major major type of concern now, other than, we just really need to watch our pennies and consider the expenditures that we're making, and, if there's a way that we can not spend it, and save for the future, that would be better. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at with that.
And the other thing that, Nick, is when we get to total phase out, we are looking at bringing some activities in that will bring people liberal, so to give us a boost in the gas tax and the sales tax. We may not see it, those activities are not designed for the rec to make 10 grand per event. The idea is for them to break even or make some money off of entry fees and concessions. The intent is to bring people to Liberal, to spend money in Liberal, and to help the businesses in Liberal. And in turn, we see it back in sales tax and guest tax. So hopefully we're gonna be able to help bail ourselves out.
No comment.
Oh, you're done for the night?
Yeah. Except for the vouchers. Looking forward to those.
I want to just say real quick, I want to thank all the staff, especially the staff that's had to put themselves out there, the police department, fire department, that they still have to answer their calls when they go, and they have to come in close contact, all the people working in the health field that still have to go do everything they have to do every day, and then try to go home and keep their family safe. I guess it just needs to be said that they're appreciated, whether they get told that enough or not. We appreciate everybody that's had to put themselves out there and really in line. Like I say, I know myself, I've been working every day, but I don't put myself on the line. I'm still distance away from people, and that's probably the only reason I get to still work, is because I'm not around anybody anyway, and I guess we're constructing something somewhere where people can't be around us anyway. So we're not those kind of people, even if we're essential, but the essential people that are on the line, I'd like to thank them for what they do. That's all I have.
I too say the same thing. Thank all the city workers, and especially the frontline workers that are out there every day, keeping them safe. That's all I have.
Good.
The next item is, we need to ratify the April 28th, 2020 expenditures.
I'll make the motion that we ratify the April 28th, 2020 vouchers in the amount of $1,055,310.98.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Harden, to ratify the April 28th, 2020 vouchers in the amount of $1,055,310.98. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. Next, we need to approve the vouchers for May 12th, 2020.
Make a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $1,044,597.35.
Second.
Double second.
Nope, second.
Second by Commissioner Lindenbrofer. Motion by Commissioner Harden to ratify, to approve the vouchers for May 12, 2020 in the amount of $1,044,597.35. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Anything else? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone watching from home.
Alicia, would you like us to take our pens tonight so you don't have to clean
If you
them?
would like to, you can have them.
Okay, I'll say you got